One person chases, the other runs. The closer you get, the further they seem to push you away. It's this endless psychological tug of war that leaves both people feeling completely exhausted and misunderstood. Sound familiar? This is the story of the most common relationship, trapped the anxious avoidant dance. And today, we're going to talk about how to finally stop playing the game. If you've ever felt like you're stuck in a loop, where one moment you feel connected, and the next you feel like you're talking to a wall, you're not alone. This pattern is incredibly common, and it all comes back to something called attachment theory. Now, don't worry, we're not going to get bogged down in academic jargon. Simply put, our early life experiences shape our attachment style as adults. These styles determine how we behave in relationships, especially when we feel stressed or vulnerable. There are four main styles: secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized, which is sometimes called fearful avoidant. Today, we're focusing on that classic, frustrating pairing, the anxious and the avoidant. So, what does this look like in real life? The person with an anxious attachment style often craves closeness and intimacy. They might worry a lot about their partner leaving them or not loving them enough. When they feel that connection is threatened, even slightly, their anxiety skyrockets. This leads to what psychologists call protest behavior. It's basically an attempt to get a reaction, to get reassurance that the connection is still there. This can look like calling or texting repeatedly, trying to talk about the relationship over and over, or even picking a fight just to get some kind of emotional response. It's not about being needy or crazy. It's a deep-seated fear of abandonment kicking into high gear. The anxious person is essentially shouting, "Are you still there? Do you still care about me?" But the way they're asking for that reassurance often has the opposite effect on their partner. And that brings us to the other side of the dance, the person with an avoidant attachment style. They value their independence and self-sufficiency above all else. Intimacy can feel threatening to them, like it's going to swallow them whole. They learned early on that relying on others can lead to disappointment, so they learn to rely only on themselves. When their anxious partner starts making demands for more closeness, or starts showing that protest behavior, the avoidant person's alarm bells go off. Their go-to response is something called a deactivating strategy. They shut down. They pull away. They might say things like, "I need space," or "I feel suffocated." They might immerse themselves in work, hobbies, or just zone out in front of the TV. It's not that they don't care. It's that their system is overloaded. Closeness feels like a threat to their independence, so they retreat to a place that feels safe being alone. And there you have it, the vicious cycle. The anxious person feels their partner pulling away, so their anxiety spikes and they protest harder. The avoidant person feels the anxious partner closing in, so their need for space intensifies and they deactivate more. One chases, the other runs. The more one pursues, the faster the other retreats. It's a painful, exhausting loop where both people's worst fears are being confirmed. The anxious person's fear of abandonment feels real because their partner is literally pulling away. The avoidant person's fear of being engulfed feels real because their partner seems to be constantly demanding more. Neither person is the villain. Both are just reacting based on their deeply ingrained attachment patterns. Both are trying to feel safe, but they're using strategies that directly threaten their partner's sense of safety. So how do you break the cycle? How do you stop the dance? The first step is awareness. Just understanding what's happening is a huge leap forward. Recognizing, oh, this isn't about me being too much, or my partner being cold. This is our attachment styles clashing. That insight alone can lower the emotional temperature of the conflict. You start to see it not as a personal attack, but as a predictable pattern. For the anxious partner, this means learning to self-soothe. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone when anxiety hits, you have to find ways to calm your own nervous system This could be through deep breathing, journaling your fears, talking to a trusted friend, or engaging in a hobby that grounds you. The goal is to learn to give yourself the reassurance you're desperately seeking from your partner. When you can approach your partner from a place of calm instead of panic, the conversation changes entirely. For the avoidant partner, the work is about learning to lean into discomfort instead of running from it. It's about recognizing that urge to pull away as a defense mechanism, not a true reflection of your feelings for your partner. The challenge is to stay present, even for a few minutes longer than you're comfortable with. It could be as simple as saying, "I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, and I need some space. But I want to be clear that I love you, and I promise we will talk about this in an hour." This simple act of reassurance can be a game changer for the anxious partner. It validates their need for connection while still honoring the avoidant's need for space. It's about building tolerance for intimacy, step by step, and learning that connection doesn't mean losing yourself. Ultimately, the goal for both is to move towards what's called a secure attachment. A secure attachment isn't about never having problems. It's about having the tools to navigate them as a team. It's about shifting from a loop to a partnership. In a secure partnership, both people can communicate their needs directly and respectfully. The anxious partner can say, "I'm feeling a little insecure and could use some reassurance," without resorting to protest behavior. The avoidant partner can say, "I need some time to myself to recharge," without shutting down completely. It's about creating a new dance, one where you move together instead of in opposite directions. It's about building a relationship where both people feel safe, seen, and valued for who they are. This journey isn't easy, and it takes commitment from both people. Sometimes, working with a therapist who specializes in attachment theory can be incredibly helpful in navigating these patterns. But the good news is that our attachment styles are not set in stone. We can change, we can heal. By understanding why we do what we do, and by taking small, consistent steps towards a new way of relating, we can break free from the anxious avoidant dance and build the secure, loving partnership we all deserve. It's about turning that tug of war into a collaboration where you're both pulling in the same direction towards each other. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on building healthier relationships. We'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. See you in the next one.